Hollywood has issued a new decree, and of course everyone obeyed immediately. Kevin Hart's career must be destroyed. Just days after the comedian was announced as the next host of the Oscars, the now irrelevant awards show some people still watch, Hart was forced to step down over tweets and stand-up routines from about a decade ago that some said were anti-gay. Now, these tweets had already come to light. Hart had already apologized for them and said he was changing his routine, but it didn't matter. In today's political environment, there is no such thing as forgiveness or mercy. What you're seeing is instead a particularly powerful form of bullying. Do and think exactly as we say, or else. Larry Elder has fought the forces of conformity for a long time. He's a radio show host from Los Angeles, and he joins us tonight. We're really glad to have you. Larry Elder, thank you. So what's the takeaway from watching what just happened to Kevin Hart?
The takeaway, Tucker, is what the devil are the rules. As you pointed out, Kevin Hart did these tweets some years ago and made anti-gay references in his stand-up some years ago. He apologized back in 2015. The Academy Award people wanted him to apologize again. He refused. Now, the show is going to be carried by ABC. ABC parent company is Disney. Disney also owns ESPN. They've employed Keith Olbermann, who is a Trump hater from way back. And just last year, he tweeted that Trump was a Nazi and dropped a bunch of F-bombs in his tweet. That didn't seem to bother Disney, but Kevin Hart has to go. The other inconsistency, of course, is that other comedians like Amy Schumer, who last year, I think it was, hosted a Democratic fundraiser, has used the F word for gays in a tweet, as has Sarah Silverman, as has Chelsea Handler, all of whom have hosted shows. And finally, you have the instance of Joy Ann Reid on MSNBC, who had a blog 2007-2008, a very anti-gay post she made, and she wasn't joking, she wasn't a comedian, including dissing the movie Brokeback Mountain and said she hated watching men kiss. She then said she apologized. Then later on she said she was hacked. NBC did a search to find out whether or not she'd been hacked. Turned out she wasn't hacked, so she either misremembered or lied, and then apologized again. She has a show on MSNBC. So forgive Kevin Hart for not knowing what the rules are.
Well, but what's the best response? I think you're absolutely right. All of us at some point are going to be accused of thought crime, and the mob will come for us. It's inevitable. How do we respond? What's the best way to respond?
You do them on a case-by-case basis. The man apologized, said he had grown. The most horrific tweet was saying that if he came home and saw his son playing with his daughter's dollhouse, he'd break the dollhouse over his head. He later on said he apologized, he's grown as a man, and perhaps the tweet had to do with his own insecurities as a man. So I think that's what you do. You apologize, be sincere, and then keep going. But if people keep beating you over the head over and over again, they're not going to forgive you. I'm not sure what the point is, which is why I believe that Kevin Hart was morally justified in saying, I've already apologized. I'm not going to apologize again. I'm a 40-year-old man. I've apologized. I've grown. Let it alone.
I mean, what happens to a society where the mob feels it has ultimate authority on judgment? No one believes in God, so they have to make their own judgments, hard and fast judgments, and no forgiveness is allowed.
Yeah, and what happens to a society that's so inconsistent? For example, Kanye West is being called an Uncle Tom and a token, a house Negro. That doesn't seem to bother anybody. You got a guy like Al Sharpton who's got a show where he's referred to gays as homos in years past, Jews as interlopers. He falsely accused a white man of raping a black teenager. He has a show on television, every weekend. So, I'm not quite sure what to say, Tucker, other than it's terribly inconsistent. It seems to me there's one rule for people who are conservative and one rule for people who are on the left.
I think it's best just to ignore the noise to the extent you can. I mean, they have an awful lot of power. They'll deplatform you in a second. Larry Elder, we're rooting for you. They ever try that with you? You always have a home on this show. Good to see you.
I could use the help. Thank you.
Thank you.